All right. Make sure we good. We good. What's up, everybody? It is the Best Spot Kid Smooth, and welcome to the Let's Talk Games podcast, LTG podcast. I'm your host, the Best Spot Kid Smooth, the co-host, Notorious DRE.
What's up, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Had a pretty good week, man. Me and my old lady just designed the crib yesterday, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, man, having a good week, a great week. Cannot complain. Blessed, man. Can't complain.
Awesome. That's good. That's good. You know what I mean? Stay blessed. Stay blessed. Stay humble. That's a good thing to be able to to pick out what you want, where you want it. So I mean,
it was
goals. Tight. Those are goals, man. I can't hate that, man. I can't hate that. Big ups to you.
Appreciate it.
In terms of
what's up, chat?
How's everybody doing? Had a couple things go on. Shout out to Lee Green. Man.
We gotta talk about some things, man.
Gotta talk about some
bullshit.
Things. Oh man. Dexter, what's up? Mr. Kima, Max B. How you guys all doing today? Okay, so before we get into the thing, to the show, I mean, what are you playing right now?
I am playing Control Ultimate Edition.
Okay.
And I'm playing that. So I tried the ray tracing for about 3 minutes, and I was like, okay, it looked cool.
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie, it do look tight. But when I switched it to 60 frames, I was like, there it is, dog. Yeah. That shit, that shit is so smooth, dog. Like I don't know if I had any slowdowns or not. Okay. But yeah, I'll keep talking. But for the chat, yeah, I've been playing. The game is so it is poetry in motion, man, at 60 frames, man. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I started. All right, I haven't really started anything permanently, but no, I will say this, being that since you bring it up, shout out to PlayStation for having an awesome PlayStation Plus month. All right, I gotta give them credit for that. I think this is the first time I downloaded every game on on the offering. So, Control Ultimate Edition, I already beat the game on Xbox in 2019. Had almost all the achievements. I think I was maybe 4 down from 100% completing it. So obviously, it's optimized for both the Xbox and PlayStation. By default, I'm playing it on the PlayStation 5 because it's free. I think
it's free.
Yeah. The game to get the next gen version on Xbox, you have to buy it. Because the Ultimate Edition is not in Game Pass, it's the regular edition that's in Game Pass. So that's last gen game is in Game Pass. They give you a discount for it because you're a Game Pass member, but it's still not enticing enough. I refuse to I don't want to rebuy the game. I just don't. So and probably if I do play through the game, I started it. I'm like, all right, it hasn't been too long since I last played it, so I do see myself playing through it. I don't think I'm going to binge it like I would do a new game. You know how you get a new game and you just start, all right. So I think Control, because I'm familiar with it, it's there's no incentive for me to go, all right, let me just bust this out this weekend. It's the same thing with Spider-Man Remaster. I got it. Miles Morales, I binged it. It's all right, I'm gonna just play it through.
Yeah.
But I already I'm familiar with Spider-Man. It's I feel like I have no real incentive to do it. So that's the whole thing with Control. But yeah, I did start playing that. I also started Concrete Genie.
That's next for me.
I don't know if I'm gonna, and the reason why I'm starting multiple games because I'm just trying to see which one am I gonna stick with, right? Concrete Genie, there's some qualities that I like about it. The story, the way that they got this thing whole set up, because it reminds me of a little Pixar movie. However, I'm not a fan of these damn motion controls that PlayStation be instituting in their games, and it has a lot of that, and it's just I guess I'm looking for more of a traditional platformer. I'm not sure how much.
Turn it off?
It seems like it's like an integral part of the gameplay, because I think that's how you paint. I didn't see another. The only alternative way I think they'll let you probably do is probably with the touchpad or something. But it seems heavy based on like aiming and whatnot. So I'm hoping. Okay. It feels like it's like a decent percentage of the gameplay, and so that's what's going to determine if I like stick with it. But I'm gonna try to push through it. I was playing this morning, and I was like, you know what, I had to go, so I was like, you know, I'm gonna probably return to it maybe tonight. And then obviously, you know, Destruction All Stars came out. Downloaded that. I'm horrible at it, but so great month. For PlayStation in terms of PS Plus, yes. Fresh content or like just fresh content that they got there that were all everything that they put up in the PS Plus were worth some sort of a pickup, either a new next gen game or, you know, like free remaster sort of right. Control. Concrete Genie was a game I wanted to play but I never purchased for the PS4. But yeah, and then there's on the Xbox side I downloaded Project Winter. This game was done by my good old friend Micah. He did the game iDarb or It Draws a Red Box, but this game is more of I guess a realistic take. Bless you, sir. This was a realistic take on, I guess it's like Among Us. It's definitely inspired by Among Us, right? But you're pretty much out in the woods in the cabin. It's wintertime, you know what I mean? And you got battle against the elements. It's freezing blizzard temperatures. You got wolves out there that's out to get you. But it's a group of y'all, right? It's a group of y'all, group of survivors. And this is where the Among Us part comes in. You know, somebody's a traitor or somebody that's, you know, out to get you. And there's a team of people that is working to kill or sabotage all the survivors, because the goal of the game is to repair these. You got to repair generators, and once you repair everything in the area, you get the call for the helicopter, and then the helicopter comes to pick you up. If all your survivors obviously make it to the helicopter, boom, you win. Or if the enemies like, you know, kill the survivors or sabotage to the point where they don't get rescued, you lose. So, but you don't know who's the enemy because we all like pretty much together.
So do you have to save everybody, or do you just have to be the
survivors? Got to work together to save themselves. Okay. But the thing is, it's not like no color coordinated. Like like there's not like a. You don't.
Oh, this is a multiplayer game.
It's a multiplayer game. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like everybody's together in like this area where there's like cabins and stuff, and you got to repair things. But you guys are all working together. But there's at least 4 of you guys that are rogue. And the objective of the rogue people is to sabotage everything you repair to keep the survivors from calling the helicopter to get rescued, or they can just kill them all. And there's a point where, you know how in Among Us you go to a little room and you hit the button and you guys have a discussion. They have that too, but it's like you go to this mailbox and you could vote to exile someone. It's voice chat, it's proximity chat that's in the game. So I mean, obviously they want you to communicate, but it's crazy because I was playing with Addict and a few other people, and me and Addict, we're in the party, right? We're in the party together. So I'm thinking I'm thinking we're working together, but this whole entire time he was like the ops, and him and some other strangers just like took their axes that they built. And they lured me over because I thought I was gonna be helping them repair something, because I just went through the tutorial. It's like, all right, I know how to repair things. We need this, that, and the third. Followed them. They lured me away from everybody else, and then they killed me.
Killed you, yeah.
And then you obviously respawn as a spirit, but you can't do nothing. But as a spirit, you can give health to people. You can like freeze people out on the cold. You can do things to assist. And then there's a scientist that if the character plays as a scientist, they can revive you if they they have to grab your heart and bring it to the lab, and they can revive you. But they can only revive you if, like, for example, if I stayed in the game and my spirit's roaming around, they can revive me if I'm still roaming around. If I'm not, then they can't revive me.
So as a spirit, can you die? Like, is there a way to get rid of you?
No, because but the thing is, I can't do anything. I'm pretty much, it's like in Among Us, when you die, you're just floating around, just doing tasks. But in this game, there's a way to get that person alive, but you can only, I think, revive one person.
Okay.
So and that spirit, their spirit has to be there. So because obviously when people die in these games, especially for playing with strangers, you're probably the first thing they're probably gonna do is just probably quit.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's an interesting game. The concept obviously is familiar. It may catch on. I'm not the biggest fan of these type of games. I like. I'm curious to see how it grows and to see what the bandwagon looks like if it catches on. But it's Project Winter is in launch day one in Game Pass. So,
it's exclusive to Xbox.
I believe so. It might be. Okay. I mean, Micah's last game was exclusive to Xbox, which was iDarb.
So this is one person making.
I don't think it's like a solo dev. Like I know the reason why I know Mike is because when he released his first game, like I had him on a podcast. I think it was Let's Talk Games. I had him on a podcast. Oh, right. We talked about iDarb. We played iDarb together live. It was like it was a cool. I enjoyed the game, but I got to know him. So I think his studio is Another Ocean. I think it's called. I think the studio is called Another Ocean. But check it out if you're on Xbox. It's Project Winter. It may be on PlayStation. I have no idea. But
I never heard of it, so probably I don't think it is because I haven't seen it in the store, so I don't think it's on there.
Yeah, make sure you guys hit that like button, that share button. We just getting started, man. Please, appreciate it.
Yes.
So we have. Let's talk about a couple things.
You want to get into Destruction first, or
Destruction All Stars, right? Right. So PlayStation 5 exclusive. I apologize for the gameplay, like the pop-ins. When I capture games from PlayStation, the shit just sort of like kind of act up. But that's not how the game actually runs, by the way. So just to give you guys a heads up. But Destruction All Stars, February 1st, PlayStation Plus game for all PS Plus subscribers. Multiplayer arena Rocket League meets what?
It's Destruction Derby.
Yes, Destruction Derby, right? You got. I remember you played obviously more than I have. I think I probably have like maybe 2 hours with it. Your thoughts on this game?
Look, like I said last night, there is a foundation, right? Mm-hmm. There is something to build upon, but now they just have to do it. At its current in its current state, it is okay at best. I would say it's okay, mm-hmm. And I do have a few gripes with it, and it's mainly like one of my gripes is that the cars feel too stiff, mm-hmm. and I wish they were more loose. Because you would think that you like, all right, I got this cat, I'm about to ram him head on, and then the heel jerk, and then you'll try to jerk, but because the movement is so stiff, you can't, you're not able to hit him at the same time. So I think the movement is stiff. I think it was a bad idea to not have a freeform camera. Mm-hmm. So like, to me, they could have just put the ram buttons. You know how you can ram up and ram to the side. Yeah. If they would have had those on the L1 and R1 buttons, and then you'd be able to control the camera freely, I think that would have been. I think that would have been better. And I just found out yesterday that you can look behind you, because I did not know that. I didn't know that you can look behind you.
I just learned something new.
Yeah. I think the drifting is pretty bad, if you can call it drifting.
Yeah.
I think they need an FOV slider. Either a FOV slider or pull the camera back, mm-hmm. because I think you're too close to the car, and making those turns, like trying to make a drift turn, I end up just crashing into the wall most of the time.
Yeah.
I thought it would be pretty cool if they had like on the field power ups. Like, I know you have a power up that regenerates and as you like get crashes and stuff like that, but if they have
Isn't it specific to your car? Like, you have to earn that car though, right?
Right, correct. Yeah, you have to earn the car. But I think if they had like on the field power ups. At first, I was like, man, this game needs guns like Twisted Metal. But then I was like, nah, because the arena isn't that big for guns and rocket launchers and shit like that. So I was just like, maybe they just have like pickups like Melee, like a big ass hammer, or come out the hood of the car or something, and start crashing down and shit like that. But yeah, I mean, I got more gripes, but I want to hear your thoughts on it. But like I said, there is a foundation. There is a lot of work to do with the game though, and hopefully what's it called, Liquid, or what they call Lucid Games. Hopefully they hear, hopefully they're on Twitter and see like some of the gripes people are having. But I dropped it. I say all that to say I dropped it. So it's okay.
I played with J-Dub and Neo, and we played quite a few games. I wasn't really having fun with it personally. I think I enjoyed my time more when I was able to do the free for all, and that's when you're not in a party, you're playing by yourself and shit like that. I felt like those modes were cool, and that kind of gave me some freedom and more options. I guess more of a chance to do some damage and whatnot. I'm not sure if I like the concept. I guess when I first saw this game, I was expecting. I know it's a destruction derby. I thought it was gonna be like destruction, like maps. Like I thought there were gonna be guns. I thought there were gonna be even real melee attacks when you jump out of the car and stuff. But you're limited to like a fucking kick. It's like some points it's like I don't see why bother getting out of the car. I mean, in some cases, but no, I just didn't like. There's 4 modes, right? 2 of them you play in the party, and 2 you play solo, right? Right. I'm not sure how many maps. I feel like I only played on like 1 or 2 maps.
I think, I think you may be right about that. Yeah.
The one thing I do give this game credit for, though, they do have a lot of characters. Like off the rip, there's a lot of characters, all like unique,
diverse too,
very diverse. They give the woman in the game cake for some reason, a whole lot of cake.
They do.
They're so like. It's like, okay, I can see something to behold with this game, and I feel like this game, I mean, they have virtual currency available for it, so I feel like if they're gonna have content, they have to make it quick. I feel like the game needs more modes, and I do think they need some sort of power ups, like better, like I don't know, I just feel like it's missing something that's keeping me personally from wanting to go back. It's like if you hit me up and like, all right, you want to play like, a couple hours of this, I might do it, but I don't think I'm going to enjoy it, so, right. And
I feel you.
And that's the thing I have with it. I think visually the game looks all right. It looks cool. It's bright. I don't understand why it's a PS5 exclusive, because this type of game, right, they need players. It's a multiplayer only game. And I mean, this was supposed to be a launch title. This game has to catch on for it to survive. Otherwise, it's we could see a same situation with what happened to Bleeding Edge. The only thing is that PlayStation doesn't have a lot of like core multiplayer only games, so we kind of have to see how. I don't know how they're gonna treat this game if it doesn't does well, if it doesn't catch on. But yeah, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of it. A lot of people want to compare it to like Bleeding Edge, or when I said, I think this game is mid. Oh, but you love Bleeding Edge. I don't think I've ever said I loved Bleeding Edge. I just didn't think the game was as bad as its Metacritic score. But I mean, I understand why people didn't like it. I think they definitely dropped the ball with it, because that game, like this game, Bleeding Edge, was limited to 2 maps, I think 2 or 3 maps. It had a decent amount of characters, and then they only added 1 since launch, and it had only 2 modes, which once you played the game for a couple hours, you kind of got the drift. There was no replayability, so that was their mistake. Ninja Theory kind of failed with that game by their lack of interesting characters in the game. Their characters were trash, all of them. None of them are memorable. The maps, like I said, there was only 2 of them, trash. And if and then there was only 2 modes. So the game needed constant updates and to be kept relevant by them, and they did not do that. So that's why that game failed. Let's see how PlayStation treats Destruction All-Stars. Like I said, I think the characters are cool. I think visually it looks great, but it's just not my type of game, personally.
I think going back to your it being on PS4, I think that's where you were going. That it should have released on PS4 as well.
Yeah.
I think either if they would have kept it at 60 frames, I think it would have had a lot of performance issues. So they probably would have had to drop it down to 30 and reduce player count in when you do battle in the arena. So I mean, I feel you on that though. That definitely would have helped, especially if it was crossplay as well. That definitely would have helped. But like you said, man, it's going to need content. It's going to need tweaks to the gameplay. And hopefully, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully, it catches fire. I don't see it as that Rocket League type game. I don't think it's going to catch on like that. I don't know. Depending on the new modes that they're going to come out with, maybe. But I don't see it. I don't see it lasting too long.
But the thing that surprises me that this game was supposed to be a launch title and it was going to retail for $69.99. Was it going to retail for $69.99 with the virtual currency in there still? Like,
that's a good question.
The thing that weirded me out about it, because as I was playing, I'm like, damn, they really was going to sell this game at $70? Is multiplayer only, which is not Sony's mantra at all,
right? And
is light on content. It's like for example, there was a reason why like Bleeding Edge was like fucking, I think $30. I think it was a 20 or $30. There's a reason why State of Decay is freaking $30, even though State of Decay has content. Like it's like this, like when I was playing this, it's like, all right, it feels proper that I'm playing this in PS Plus. I don't think if I would have felt that way buying this game at $70. Actually, I don't think I would have felt that way playing this game at $60. I think this is a discounted game, like something I would feel like, yeah, this is a game that you would spend $40 on because it's next gen. All right, I'll give it the extra 10 for $50. That makes sense. All right, $50 the cap. If Miles Morales is $50 on PS5?
Yeah, for the standard. Yeah,
there's no way this game should have ever been thought to be $70 at all.
Yeah,
so
I feel you.
That's pretty much the second thought is that, you know, this game launched and, you know, because the game came out obviously before its Metacritic score, right? And I had a lot to say about the people who, you know, claimed they were enjoying this game because it was fun, right? And I'm not gonna go against anybody who says they having fun with the game, because I play a whole lot of shit that nobody wants to be caught playing. And then sometimes I find some of those games fun, and I'll be brutally honest with you. I think if I think the game's fun, I think it's fun. And you know what I mean? It may be mid or complete trash to the next person. But the crazy thing is that the stuff I was seeing with Destruction All Stars in regards to its, you know, we're playing it because it's fun. I'm like, it reminds me, I was like, damn, I remember, you know, jumping in and taking screenshots of Sea of Thieves and Crackdown and all this other shit, these low graded games, and being made fun of because we were talking about how fun it was, but that didn't matter. It was trash. It was the 69. They memed 69, 68, whatever. Like, and I'm like, and they would do, like, they would joke on us so much about it. And when I saw all those tweets, I'm like, damn, man, this shit looks familiar. What were your because you tweeted something that I think the day, because you started playing, obviously started playing before me, and you started giving your early thoughts on it on Twitter. So
I tweeted something that caught a little bit of fire. I said, okay, so at the time it was a 76 on Meta, and I was like, okay, PlayStation guys was like, seems fair. I'm having fun with it. but a game that's an Xbox game that's a 71, they would call trash.
A lot of medium, right?
Yeah, medium, exactly. Actually, I think Destruction All Stars is at like a 65.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people wasn't keeping the same energy, man. A lot of people was, I'm having fun, even though it's a mediocre game. Well, that same energy was not held for the Xbox, for these Xbox games when they come out with these meta scores. So yeah, I found it funny as well, man. Energy was not the same.
As I said, dude, I was like, all right, moving forward, I don't want to hear that. I was like,
right.
I don't want to see no screenshots of meta scores, bro. Because you should have. That was not the game to do that with. You know what I
mean? They kind of shot themselves in the foot with that one. Absolutely.
Also, so the topic of the show is old games, new consoles, because that's been a discussion, and we're gonna dive deep into that discussion because I know. Kofi made a video. I think Heartache did a video. I've been on this shit for years at this point in terms of my defense of it. But obviously these are going to lead into the way. So Control, the game you started, it's finally got its next gen patch, and it's sold separately as a part of the Ultimate Edition. So if you don't have the Ultimate Edition of Control, you do not have the Series X or the PS5 version. You can only get that version if you buy the Ultimate Edition. So if you bought the special edition of the original console launch, like back in 2019, you don't have it. So luckily, if you are a PlayStation 5 owner and you are a PS Plus member, you do get that proper version for free as part of your PlayStation Plus subscription, as the Control is a part of PS Plus. And the game has been updated to support ray tracing at 1440p, 30 frames per second, or performance mode at 1440p, 60 frames per second. And people are enjoying it. Which one you want to tackle first? You want to talk about the initial results or the findings we found today? Like,
let's get into the findings. We got to get the bullshit out the way, man.
So the original findings was that so they both were running same settings, like pretty much across the board in terms of same resolution, same performance target. The PlayStation, in terms of like the frame rate, the PlayStation fared better than the Xbox in the performance mode because Xbox, other than the drops that they both have, the GPU related drops that both games have at this like same points, the Xbox does suffer from additional like random stutter issues that does they said they reported to Digital Foundry, but there's these additional stutters that they can't quite find what's causing it. So and so by default, PlayStation has the better version, and when you compare those two, and I think in the ray tracing mode, I think the average the lowest drop on PS5 is 27. The lowest drop on Xbox is 28. And so that was pretty much that. That was the findings for pretty much Control. Like you said earlier, I started the game. I switched into ray tracing mode for two areas. One, I wanted to see like the inside the office, and then when you first get the gun, right? You know how they put you in that training simulator. There's a bunch of reflections in that spot. So I was like, all right, but I didn't want to play the entire game. I was like, you go back to the performance mode, it changes. You're just like, all right, this is more comfortable. So like when I finish the game, it's going to be strictly performance mode. Now I'm gonna go close my door right quick. Because now we're going to talk into the findings. Hold on. Can we close the door? So today's findings were that Digital Foundry dropped a video because another LED or another LED. He's a troll, by the way. That typically rides for PlayStation. Every time PlayStation comes out by a hair against the Xbox in these comparisons, he'll poke fun at it. But he gets found that in photo mode, the game was running at a higher frame rate. when he went to photo mode. So I think he tweeted about it, and that prompted Alex and I think Richard Ledbetter or John, or was it Richard or John that was in that part of that video?
I think it was it John? I don't
know. No, I think it was Richard. It had to be Richard. I think. Okay. I feel like it's not, but I know it was Alex was the primary.
Yeah.
So he opted. He did a video and went into the photo mode of both games and found like, oh, the frame rate is unlocked. This could serve as a benchmark to see what because it unlocks the frame rate, but you know how the ray tracing mode is capped at 30. So that's what prompted them to do it because at that point now it's running at an unlocked frame rate.
Right.
So the game, what they found that in the graphics mode, ray tracing mode during photo mode, they're benchmarking, and the thing is, the Xbox and PlayStation's both running this game unlocked with ray tracing, and the Xbox hits 60 frames per second, and it's maintained a higher frame rate by a minimum of 16, all the way up to a 30% advantage over the PlayStation 5 in comparison. And obviously that caused some outcry, outrage, and I'm probably a little bit responsible for some of it because of my tweet. I knew the tweet was gonna get me in trouble, but I want you to go because you obviously seen things like because me, I've kind of just sort of said what I said and ran. I didn't like. So what kind of prompted you to be like, yo, this is some bullshit? Because I just in case I have like a counter, but go ahead.
Because it's photo mode.
Okay.
And we're not playing photo mode. I mean, I understand the gist of what you guys are saying because you guys are looking at it as this is the potential. This is what could happen potentially in the future. But this is it's photo mode, man. We are now. If the game was running like that, I would be like, okay, cool, then But it's photo mode. It's something to take pictures with. And I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the hoopla. Why y'all Xbox got a W for photo mode. I didn't get it, man.
Hey, let me just say something to Jay. Jay, actually, it does hit 60. I never said it maintains or it's a lock 60, but it actually does hit 60. It does hit that number. So yeah, I am not lying, bro. So yeah. Yeah, you're not playing photo mode. Now, I've always been the advocate against photo mode. I hated photo mode because I hated how people always take photos and they'll be like, this is what games look like on a 1.4 teraflop shit. And then they'll be like, I'm like, bro, bro, you went into a mode that's literally meant for you to take the highest fidelity photo ever.
Sony said it themselves. Photo mode over processes the image, so it looks better than in game. Yeah, I hate photo mode too. That's why if I do take a screenshot, it's directly from the game. Never photo mode.
Yeah. So it's like I know people like to play around with this shit, but I've never been a fan of fucking photo mode. I've never been like the only time I've used it was the games that give you an achievement for using it once. I think Spider-Man, I think both Spider-Man gave you an achievement for using it at least once.
Immortals did too.
Yeah, and Immortals did too. So it's like so I did those just to get those out of the way. And those was some ass screenshots. I literally took a picture of the sky or some shit like that. But like, yeah, dude, it's like I'm not a big fan of photo mode, but the reason why I kind of like went at it the way I did, it's like because people I guess were on this thing that we were hyping photo mode. Like, no, it's more so that the game is literally pretty much because it probably wasn't supposed to do that, but it was literally acted as a benchmark. It's running the game. It's running the game. It just doesn't have its cap on for the frame rate. So the thing is that okay, I'm looking at it like this way. I'm like, this doesn't make sense, right? Because I'm thinking about performance mode, where PlayStation, edges out the Xbox in performance mode at 60 frames, and they're not pushing ray tracing. But you're gonna tell me now ray tracing, the Xbox is having those advantages. Like, yo, something ain't right. So I said, yo, they purposely held this shit back. And then I started thinking about it. It's like, okay, they can if we were just to judge based off the frame rate that we were seeing in photo mode, of course that's not ideal to be fluctuating between 33 frames to 57 frames per second throughout the entire game. Obviously, you control that by capping it. But the thing is like, yo, I'm looking at it from an Xbox standpoint. If it can hit as high as 60 and maintain in the 50s for a good portion of the time, a little bit of tweaking, you can probably do what Insomniac did and do a ray tracing 60 frames mode. Because it's obviously possible. At this point, it's obviously possible. Mm-hmm. Bring down because right now they've been working on both modes. I think it's working with a fixed resolution of 1440p. All right, enable dynamic resolution. You can do that. That alleviates some of that stress. The ray tracing reflections don't have to be. You don't need to have the resolutions as high. And voila, you should have a save. You should be able to save on performance. At least on the Xbox. I can't speak for PlayStation, but on the Xbox side, because of how close it was hitting, it's possible to have a ray tracing mode at 60 frames per second on that version. So, and I mean, do I look at it as a dub? No, That's
my question. Do you see it as a dub?
No, I just used it to have like fucking fun with. I didn't know it was gonna be like that serious. Just like I wanted like. It's not a dub because I can't play the game in photo mode, and I don't anticipate playing the game on Xbox unless I get it for free or get it on a stupid discount. So like right now I'm playing it on PlayStation 5. That's where I already beat the game, but it's not really a dub, but it was interesting finding the cool to see what those consoles could particularly do, and that's what really kind of like prompted like my stance on it. Like, you know what I mean? But it was just odd to see that with ray tracing, unlock frame rates, the Xbox would maintain that advantage, but in performance mode without ray tracing, it couldn't. I don't know.
I got a question for you. Let me ask you something real quick, because I think people are starting to notice Digital Foundry and their bullshit. I think people are finally catching on to their bullshit because you know how they'll tweet out, "Oh, we hate the console wars," and "I'm so stressed out because of console wars, this, that, and the third." But then they go and do a video like this, knowing that it's going to fuel the console war. You know, like at some point they got to stop, man.
Here's the thing, right? Man. I like their work sometimes, and I like other people's work who are valuable. Like I like NX Gamer, I enjoy his stuff, and I like Destin Legary as well. But I don't know if NX is gonna be doing his own content. I think IGN hired him.
Word?
Yeah, he did IGN's last video for like comparisons and shit. There's another person that just does straight like comparisons, but he does no commentary. He just let instrumental play. Pretty sure you're I think you shared one of his comparisons before.
That it was like that, either that Italian.
Yeah, he speaks a different language or some shit like that. Yeah.
I watch his videos all the time.
I do find it, interesting. I do find the works good just to kind of get like the numbers behind everything, and I do find it cool. But I feel like Digital Foundry, this is what made Digital Foundry during the Xbox, One versus PS4. That was it. Like literally, that was it. You could say they literally solely were responsible for the existence of an Xbox One X.
Yeah.
So
I feel you.
It's such. That's actually the only thing the console war can really live off of right now. That and sales and Metascore, but it's these things that literally, like if like Metacritic and freaking like graphics comparisons and stuff like that, and then and we see these these differences, and we all pretty much believe that the slightest of difference is the biggest deal, bro. I don't know, man. Their work, unfortunately, is the byproduct of the console war, right? Without them, maybe the console war wouldn't have been as toxic as it is now. If you think,
and like like you said, I like the analysis that they do because it is interesting. But like when you go on Twitter and you talk about, oh my gosh, man, I'm just so damn stressed. Can y'all please back off? Then you go ahead and make a video knowing that's what it's going to do and how it's going to stir up the pot.
All right, so the person you're talking about is John Linderman. He's the one that typically kind of gets stressed out and gets trolled to death because they swear he's like either paid by Sony or Microsoft, right? So the thing about him is like, here's about Digital Foundry. I feel like when they're doing videos, it's sort of just straightforward. At least for the most part, I feel like it's straightforward. There's like some videos I felt like, I was like, all right, you guys are doing too much. But I feel like they're straightforward, right? And their product just get used as ammo. Regardless, they know that any comparison they do is going. Anytime they do a comparison, the only thing that would stop that is they do videos one at a time. All right, we're going to analyze the PlayStation. This video is going to be dedicated to just the PlayStation versions, and compare it to PS5, PS4, or PC, etc. And then this video is going to be dedicated to the Xbox One, and PC. And that's the only way, because now by doing that, it requires the trolls to doctor it up for them and do the comparisons and shit like that, and then they have to time it up because they can't match the same scenes. Like, that's why. Like, so their work is just a byproduct. It's just ammo for the console war, just like meta scores, just like console sales. Like, you know what I mean? Because Microsoft don't report, units sold, we assume they sold 0 each year. Like, that's exactly how it works. But
I think VG came out and said they sold 3.5 or something like that.
Yeah, I think
Xbox Series.
VG had them at like, where did they have? They had them at like 3.2, and PlayStation had a certain number, but I think PlayStation numbers came out, and Z Hughes or Daniel Ahmad, that business analyst who really gets the like sales and shit like that, he responded to Ryan McCaffrey and said the Xbox is like a shade, just a bit over 1 million less than what PlayStation did.
Right.
And PlayStation was last reported at 4.5 million.
Something like that.
For the official numbers, it was 4.5, I think 83 or something like that. And if you take that, you go like, okay, if they're at 4.5, a bit over 1 million would be, okay, we assume the Xbox is at 3.3, 3.4, some shit like that. For that difference, when you look at it, it's like, it's actually not bad. It's pretty close. It's actually fairly close, actually. So yeah, but other people will tell you different. Wise, I think Crack Gamer was arguing with me, and Tick, he was convinced that the numbers that Daniel Ahmad gave was them as of February 3rd, right? And that PlayStation, PlayStation is currently at like 6.5 million. So he stopped Xbox numbers at launch and continued to count. Like, bro, like, get out of here with that.
Both sold out. So I mean,
they're also like, I
kind of believe the numbers.
I don't understand the whole thing. Oh, this sold more than this sold more than that. I'm like, bro, I can't find. I can see if I can still find like Xbox and shit on shelf. I've been trying to buy a backup Series X since launch.
I'm trying to get one
and
myself.
You're trying to get at one period. These stupid Walmart drops is not helping, because everybody, like, why warn everybody? Just drop the shit.
Just do a stealth drop.
Yeah,
that's what I say. Yeah, just do a stealth drop and let people find it on their own.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
So let's just discuss this. Actually, a couple things, because there's a lot of these small tidbit things. PlayStation, Sony, they invested in the parent company of From Software.
Oh, word, did they?
Yeah. So people are saying they're another step closer to potentially acquiring From Software. Like, if they manage to do that, like, I mean, how big would this be? I mean, what are your thoughts?
It would be huge, but it kind of would be like an Insomniac kind of like an Insomniac type thing, because they do have Bloodborne exclusive, so I think it makes sense. It would be big though. I think it would. I think that will be a pretty big acquisition, to have that niche market all to yourself. Have that Souls type game, those Souls type games all to yourself. Yeah, I think it would be pretty big. I think it'd be pretty big.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you think?
I mean, hopefully that would guarantee a follow up to Bloodborne that everybody wants. What they really need to
Right.
do is remaster Bloodborne some way somehow
Yes.
because I'm still seeing people play Bloodborne on their PlayStation 5s and and you're still playing that janky ass 30 frames per second like game at whatever resolution it was running. But I
Yeah.
know it's a fun game, but From Software is pretty good at what they do. I thought Bloodborne was great. I thought Sekiro was great. I'm not a fan of Dark Souls at all. I haven't started Demon Souls. I mean, I don't know how that's going to be. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be a nice get.
Yeah, that definitely will be.
It would hurt to an extent. Obviously, Xbox X, though they are the masters of that sort of. There's a lot of clones of those games. I suppose that people try to make. The people that do what's the game? The Surge, Lords of the Fallen, freaking. There's even Code Vein is more so in the in that realm. So I'm sure Xbox would have access to those type of games, not from software. They can get the ones that make the B tiered versions of those games and try to move forward. But I think that would be a nice get. There's also
Let me. So
no, go ahead.
Okay, because they invested. Why do people? So what does that do exactly? And why do people think that means it's a step closer to them getting acquired?
I think they invested a certain amount into the parent company that owns them. So usually, for example, if Microsoft was to buy a majority stake in a company, I mean that gives them at some point a buyout is imminent, right? So that's pretty much what it is. It's like a potential all right, they own shares into the parent company. This could lead to further partnerships, more business agreements, or a merger or some sort of buyout at some point. So there's nothing really set in stone yet. But it would be. It's just those things that are interesting. Another thing that also came out. Those letter to intent. Let me 1 second. I gotta find something right quick. If I could find this thing. So Xbox is also rumored to be these rumors are actually driving me for freaking nuts by the way, because I don't care if Xbox for another Xbox acquisition unless the people that are buying is going to release a game immediately. That's where I'm at now. It's dude, if they ain't finna drop a game in the next 6 months during the acquisition period, I really don't care, bro. I really don't care because these shits is taking too damn long.
Too long.
But damn, if I could find it, bro. I don't know if I can find it. But there's a rumor that Xbox obviously is in talks with Sega. And that rumor comes up twice a year.
It does.
There was also rumor that Xbox is, they were gonna do Gearbox, but Gearbox got bought out by THQ Nordic. They were also rumored to be doing Bungie. Remember early was it late last year? They were rumored,
I thought Bungie didn't want to be bought.
It's not that they didn't want to be bought. They denied the acquisition rumors, right?
Okay.
Of Microsoft. So they denied it that it was taking place, and the rumor died down. But recently, something sort of there's these when Ninja Theory and Obsidian and Exile was purchased, these little things come out, these incorporation letters, when they hire I forgot what it's called but and that's what I'm trying to find the thing I was reading today. I don't know if it's still on my phone, but I was reading if I can find this, I'm gonna just search in Twitter Xbox acquired.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you if they do acquire Bungie, if Xbox does acquire Bungie, would you like them to take back Halo and have 343 do something else?
Nope.
No.
Halo is the reason why Bungie and Microsoft split the first time. They didn't want to do it no more.
But everybody says that they have the best Halos though. Like they created the best Halo.
I think people say but Bungie is they wanted to stop making Halo so they could do Destiny, and then they I think they're ready for something else. I think would it be nice to see them do it? I'm not sure. I think I don't know. Then what do you do with 343 at that point? I think 343 has been primed and bought up to be the.
I mean, do you not think 343 is capable of making something else, or like do you think they like at some point in time, like you get tired of like making the same game over and over and over. So
do I think they're capable of making something else? Absolutely not. I don't think they're capable of making anything other than Halo, because I haven't seen them make anything other than Halo.
Well, that's the same thing with Guerrilla Games. We ain't seen that.
They have to prove me wrong, bro. They got that. 343 is probably like the biggest studio at Xbox Games Studios. Probably the biggest. Yeah, probably bigger than anything that they will get in Bethesda too. I don't know for what. I mean, I know they keep all the Halos alive. Like the 360 Halos are finally going offline this year or next year. The 360 ones, dude. So they're finally going offline. I know they the Master Chief Collection and Halo. I don't know, man. They're capable of making a game not named Halo, but I feel like any talent from Bungie that wants to do Halo has the opportunity to go and do Halo. They just go to 343. 343 is made up of people from Bungie that was working on Halo anyway. You know what I mean? And then some left to do Destiny and work with Activision, and others left to make another fucking game that they came out, was it last year? It's an RTS / first person shooter.
So why not let 343 expand their portfolio?
They should.
Yeah.
They absolutely should. Because I mean, even though the thing that's not fair is that we haven't had a Halo game in 6 years. Like it's even though it's like, yeah, all they do is Halo, but they haven't made shit. You know what I mean? In years. So it's like now at this point, it'd be different if they made a couple games, but now I'm at this point I'm ready for another Halo. It's been so long. I'm actually ready for another Halo. After Halo shit to be working on something else, yes, I want them to make a fucking try. Give a stab at an RPG. I feel like this is what they should do. Stay in the Halo universe. It doesn't. Not everything has to be a first-person Halo game. You can make an RPG inspired by fucking Arbiter. You know what I mean? You can make a fucking third-person Halo game in the Halo universe. You got a lot of shit they can do if they wanted to. Microsoft.
Yeah, but that's still Halo though. Like that's still
you don't
Halo.
have to name them Halo. Why not? Halo is a universe that's so big. You can have different franchise spin off, but still be in the universe. I mean, some people think Destiny is in the Halo universe.
Oh, we're okay.
Yeah, like heard that. I mean, you could probably find like connections and Easter eggs that connect the two.
Like that's like Naughty Dog doing like a spin-off of Uncharted. Like, I mean, that's cool, but like we really don't want that. Really,
no, I mean, it depends, right? So, like, you probably haven't played. For example, Gears of War, right? Gears Tactic, is it really? It's not Gears. It's Gears, but it's not Gears of War. Like, it's not it's not what the Gears of War I'm used to playing. You know what I mean? So, and it's different characters. It's in the same world, different time, different characters. Unfamiliar with all of them, but they were same with Hive Busters, right? The only thing about Hive Busters is still at its core still Gears, right? But different locations, different characters with their own backstory. So I mean, it could work. Like I think, yeah, should they make something completely different from Halo? Could they? Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see it. I just don't think they're at this rate. I don't think they're capable.
Damn, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, man. Like, cause you just don't want to see studios be a one trick pony. Like, even if they did like spinoffs or whatnot, it's still a one trick pony type situation because it's still in that same universe.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of like we all want to be surprised by the next big thing, you know. And I mean, I think they should be able to do something else like that's outside of Halo. Like make a fantasy RPG or something, or yeah, third person action game with a story based cinematic. Oh, you know, something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
because I mean, all you see is people shitting on the 343 Halos anyway. So it's
I don't know why.
I know
the crazy thing about this, right, is if anybody else made 343 caliber games, they would be freaking Gotti nominees. If you think about it, they haven't made a bad game. I don't consider any of their games bad. And I think that the problem with Halo is that it's
the standard though.
But
like,
but the Halo itself
Bungie.
can't even maintain its standard, because games, how we play games back in 2004 and 2007 and shit like that, is different. Bungie couldn't make a Halo. Now, for example, if Destiny came out in 2004 or 2007, it would be a fucking higher rated game. It would. That's how I look at it. I feel like Destiny is just a fucking Halo, not in the Halo universe.
Okay.
With a less interesting story. But like, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. They got a lot of things. They got the same, like, the concept to me is still the same. Halo is more so classic. I feel like 343 did the best you can do for Halo to keep it alive into this, to keep it as current as possible. Because the way Bungie's Halo it would be outdated now.
Yeah, but Bungie would adapt though. You see what I'm saying?
Would they? I mean,
they might.
Do you sprint in Destiny?
Yes, you do sprint.
You finally, okay, because I'm about to say you had one speed in fucking Halo when
that's true.
when Bungie was doing it, and
but they would adapt though. I mean, they would get with the times for sure.
And Bungie finally released had a 60 frames per second game like on console with finally.
But look though.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite, all they was talking about how it was going back to the traditional Halos though. How they wanted it to make, how they wanted it to be like the traditional Halos. And how everybody
dude,
go back.
That's just nostalgia talk. It's gonna have a bunch of new shit in there. The only thing is the first Halo was like very open for its time, right? It was very wide in scope. And I think that's where they're going for it. And I think, but the thing about Halo is that their focus is on like balance. How does multiplayer work? How does the gunplay work? They have like, Halo will always be the most balanced multiplayer game I would ever play. Like there's better players than others in Halo, but I feel like Halo's that multiplayer game that when you play, you have a chance. Like you got a chance. Everybody started off with the same fucking weapons, bro. Same weapons. And it's about map control. You find where the special weapon's at and then you do your work. But like there's people who dominate without using the specialized weapon. You know what I mean? The stock weapons are freaking good enough. I feel like the way the maps work, the way that the weapons work, there's like this perfect balance to Halo, and 343 has maintained that when they took over too, with both, and especially Halo 5, which is my favorite multiplayer Halo so far. It's just the most balanced like multiplayer experience I've had. Let's talk about, man, one other thing I want to talk about before we get into this topic, final topic, is Werewolf Apocalypse came out yesterday.
Ooh.
You see it?
I did. That shit look horrible. That shit look god awful, man. I watched the IGN review, and he was like, the gameplay was like the werewolf was swiping at the guy, but he was still standing there with the shotgun, like he was not getting swiped and clawed up and shit. I'm like, oh yeah, hell no.
right, so the IGN review was fairly good of how they were describing, like, yeah, like you're just they want you to, they try to encourage you to be stealth, but you could turn into a werewolf anytime and just smash through anything. You why bother? Right? Exactly. So
and the stealth, they said the stealth was the best part.
The best part, but you're not like forced to like. It's not like they don't put you in situations. It's like, yeah, I don't know, but the game still. When I watched the review, right, I wanted the game. I still wanted to play the game because the thing is, there was nothing about the review that screamed out, "This is a bad game." I thought the game was going to be broken, right, or something, or just going to look like fucking hideous. It looks all right, but like. I'm like, it doesn't look that bad. Now, the only what's kept me from freaking buying this shit, right, is because it's $50 and it's not on Game Pass. I need the game. I need the game to drop by like $20, and I'll do it. Or that shit needs to get like rushed into Game Pass, and I'll definitely. That
game should have been included with PlayStation Plus. Yeah. Fuck, I'm paying off $50. But
I want to play it, dude. I just thought it would be wrong if I pay. I just don't want to have that buyer's remorse where everybody told me it was bad. And like, and just tell everything is bad, don't do it. And then I spend the $50, do it, and then I find out myself, oh, it really is bad. Why did I do this shit? So
that game doesn't even look like a game that would be just a chill game for the weekend. I don't want to touch that game at all. That game looks terrible.
All right. So main topic of the day, right? Old games, new consoles. There's been this discussion about every buying new consoles to play old games. Now, this thing, you know, has been a conversation before. Obviously, when the Xbox One X came out in 2017, it didn't launch with any specific games. There wasn't really a game showing off other than like third-party games, and you know, obviously, we knew they ran games, you know, better, and backwards compatible games got like a little boost to it, and it was cool, right? And but at that point, the whole thing is like, who buys new consoles to play old games? It made sense because at that time, right, PlayStation, you know, were getting new games and whatnot, and we were kind of still in limbo. You know what I mean? And now with the Series X, S, and the PS5, they were really heavily marketing the Series X of what it can do to existing games, like where backwards compatible titles got even a bigger boost, like getting like max res, frame rates being doubled, and games that were using DRS was like going like that's all they were showing off was old games, the quick resume, old games, all this. So it obviously came back up again. It's like, yo, I've been saying that ever since COVID hit. I was like, okay, yes, Xbox needs some fucking games with this console, you know what I mean? But I know there's going to come a time because of this stupid COVID thing that there's going to be a drought. And all we're going to have to do is play games from our backlog. And now, if you're telling me my backlog games are either going to get boosted with 60 frames or 120 frames or run at a much cleaner resolution than before, then that's an incentive. I actually don't mind it. If I know there's a drought every year, naturally, before there's any epidemic, there's a drought at some point, and it's usually during the summer, right? And before the fall holiday rush comes. But now I know one's coming. We know one's coming. All the delays and shit that we have, we know there's going to be one. And unfortunately, it's happening at this pretty much, it's going to be the top of the year. So we're in a situation where, you know, Xbox, like me, have been criticized for, you know, hyping up the Series X and playing the Series X and, you know, hyping up old games being remastered or running old games at higher frame rates and higher resolutions and stuff. You buy new consoles to play new games, new experiences. That's been the argument. That's what we were told. That's why we were told to buy a PS5 over the Xbox Series X for new games, new experiences. No, Xbox has no launch titles. Now, so many months done pass. It's February 2021. And what are you playing Notorious Stray on your PlayStation 5?
Control.
And Control came out in what?
Oh, 20, was it
August of 2019.
Yeah, 2019. Yeah,
Yep.
It's an old game. It is an old game.
What's the game everybody running around was super hyped on February? I think 2nd when they got his
God of War.
God of War. 20 what?
2018.
April 2018 at that. So that's an early 2018 game. Yeah, Another game that's probably even older than God of War. Maybe, I don't know, because I get with Ubisoft games, I get old. Just got an update that everybody's hyped up.
Yeah.
The Division 2.
Yeah.
The Division 2. What? So it's not just
Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. See, Xbox set up Xbox gamers, like they molded them to backwards compatibility, because that's all they was talking about, backwards compatibility. So Xbox fans were used to it. They knew that they were going to have to play backwards compatibility because new games aren't coming for a while. With PlayStation, it's like we're forced to play older games because we played all the new ones already. Like all the new games that has come out for PS5, we pretty much damn near we played them all. We played Miles Morales and Bug Snacks and what's another one?
Astrobot.
Assassin's Creed, Astrobot. Yeah, we played all the exclusives for that Sony has to offer right now, and so it's like we really are being forced to play these old games. It's not that we want to. Well, somewhat. I ain't gonna say that. Let me not say that. Let me not say that. It's just that we've played all the exclusives that PlayStation has to offer right now.
All right.
And there's nothing else but to play these old games. So
now the crazy thing is, right? Because you know how we was like backwards compatibility was a big deal at one point, and people were like, why? And that was also fed into the whole why play. Could you imagine if there was no backwards compatibility on the PlayStation 5 right now after you got through your launch games?
You got a point. You definitely have a point, because it will be dry. It will be desert.
Yeah.
On PS5, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you would actually plug back in your PS4 to play whatever games that.
Probably.
If like so, thank God for backwards compatibility. And the thing is, you now have an incentive to play these current gen or older games, because it's not like you're playing like these like as is, like how they launched. They're getting a boost from it, so it adds that. I don't know. I feel like it adds some sort of like value to it. It adds that replayability. To it, and it's crazy is that yes, PlayStation had games at launch. There was Spider-Man, there was Demon Souls, there was Godfall, and stuff like that. So you but like you get through those games, and now it's very dry, right? So Xbox, over at Xbox, we didn't have anything. It was third party galore. It was Assassin's Creed. It was Dirt. I mean, there was Gears Tactics if you're interested in that. It was you had a reason to replay Gears 5 and there was some other like smaller games that were around. But after we got through the major games we wanted to play, it was really those games. What other games got boosted, for this, and then we would play that, and then obviously January came and we were able to get the Medium, which was like the, like it or not, it was the first. I don't still want to call it the proper game, but it's technically proper in terms of exclusive wise. It's not a cross gen game. That came out, and it was. In my opinion, I thought it was a great game, but judging by Metascore, it was a decent game. Like I would say this, I would have rather have the Medium over Destruction All Stars at this point for my next game to launch after my launch period. Like the next game, I would say Medium over Destruction All Stars any day. But like there was this heavy push or this kind of like disdain for this whole idea to play to be like pretty much playing these old games or last gen games on new consoles. And I feel like Xbox and obviously PlayStation, especially Xbox, since they've been pushing it, have redefined or like changed the way we look at our catalog, like moving forward. Especially if you're gonna give new life to it, like because go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Because I was about to stumble.
My fault. It's kind of PlayStation's fault, to be honest. Like gotta put a little bit of blame on PlayStation because they didn't tout backwards compatibility. Like the way we got the information from backwards compatibility was through PlayStation blogs and stuff like that. Like they didn't really push backwards compatibility games, and even in their state of plays and in their presentations, it was all like the new stuff, like the new stuff that were coming out. But like now, it's kind of weird because it's like the games that are getting updated, the old games that are getting updated for PlayStation are like the heavy hitters, like the big ones, like only God of War, but like God of War.
We got God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, and Days Gone.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. So it's kind of like the heavy hitters. It's not like they're pushing multiplayer. I mean, not multiplayer, multiplats or the indies or anything like that. So it's like they kind of they kind of have like an agenda with backwards compatibility. Like they only want you to play the big titles. Like they just didn't give it that push. You know what I'm saying? So as a PlayStation gamer, you're not really checking for backwards compatibility games because you want to, all you want to do is play the new stuff that Sony's been touting for these years, a couple months or whatever. But you're right. Backwards compatibility is saving gaming right now, because there is this dry spell going on right now. But that's why I was hoping that Ratchet and Clank
what the hell
hit February.
I'm sick and tired of these games going dark, bro.
I don't understand because that was one of the first games
you saw gameplay for.
And I'm just like, what? Like that game should have been out in February, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Because now it can't come out in April because then it will overshadow Returnal. And then you keep pushing it back to May, June. That's like, when is this game going to come out then? If you keep, like, we don't have a release date. We don't have a release window. Well, they said early 2021.
Yeah.
But isn't early 2021 the cutoff, like
they
April?
I thought it was
April or May.
They said early, or did they say launch window? Or they said early, maybe.
Yeah, launch. I don't know. Ratchet and Clank should have been out, mate. Like that should have been a game that come out in February to tide us over a bit.
Yeah. I mean, because, when you consider last generation when it happened, I think after the launch you had Infamous, right? That was that first one at the top of the year. It came out like February 2014.
Oh, for who?
Infamous Second Son for the PS4.
Oh, yeah.
During that launch period. And then that was like the first big one. Those were the good old times, because it was Infamous for PlayStation and then Titanfall for Xbox. Like I think a week later or something like that. That was dope. But yeah, dude, I'm happy that these publishers are going back and going, like, unlocking a frame rate for these games and like giving them a boost, because these consoles, they're very capable, and they're not being taken advantage of to like their full capacity yet. But to see, like, certain games, obviously games like The Division, like I always thought Ubisoft was allergic to 60 frames per second. Like, like I thought it was just not in, like, they just couldn't do it. But with the start of this generation, they've been like going in and like making sure these games like hit. And I can't be mad at them for that. Unfortunately, Prince of Persia got delayed again. Another old game. I don't know what's going on, but you weren't happy with the showing.
No, hell, I hope nobody was happy with that showing. That game looked awful, and it was disheartening because that Prince of Persia is a classic,
Yeah.
and for it to look like that, and nah, they need to do that game justice and come have it come out proper because that game is a classic. I love Prince of Persia, man. I love all the Prince of Persias, even that one that came out for the 360 PS3, the more colorful,
Yeah,
the colorful
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
That game was dope too. Yeah, I love Prince of
Yeah,
Persia.
I'm looking forward to it, but I just thought by the price of it that it was going to be like, okay, this is going to be like more of a high resolution port, maybe. That's what I got from it because it was
See,
not
I
even
thought it
full
was going to
price.
be
It's
a
like
remake.
it's like 40 bucks I think when it was available for pre-order.
Yeah, they need to fully remake this. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
need to do a
yeah. Like I
remaster.
thought it was like more so for a remaster. The way that it looked like a remaster. Like
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, if they fully go all out and do a remake, they gotta change the cover because the cover is still this. It's like similar to the original cover like the box art.
Hmm.
So that's why I think the reaction is probably forcing them to do more than they intended to do with the game, because they were selling it for $40. It looked like it was supposed to be like either a high HD port, 4K port, or something like
Hmm.
that, with a little bit of extra stuff added to make it a little bit more modern. But I don't think it was supposed to do what like RE did, like you know what I mean, the Resident Evil remakes and stuff. I don't think it was never intended for that.
And that's a shame too, because Prince of Persia is that game that put Ubisoft on the map.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to, well, one of the games to put them on the map, and for them to not do it justice, man, that's wrong, man. You got to do this game true justice,
Yeah.
man, for real. Cause yeah, we need that. We need a proper Prince of Persia remake. Because if not that, then just make a new one. Like just make another one if you don't want to properly remake it.
Okay.
Just make a new Prince of Persia game.
Absolutely.
But yeah, they
Hey,
gotta do that.
I'm gonna ask you a question. I thought about saving this for next week or something like that. It's Black History Month, right? Right, and we get gaming, right? Do you feel like have you been? Do you feel like you've found any representation in video games? Do you feel like there's like that you played a game that you could actually relate to or felt happy with in terms of like relation to
Probably
something?
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales is the closest thing, right?
That's probably the only game.
All right. So I've been thinking about this, right? Of what kind of game I want to see, right? Because every time for all of our major video games, we're playing as either some sort of white woman, white male, or an Asian, or an orc, or an animal. You know what I mean? Or we could create our character and kind of just imagine like, and then kind of fit them to whatever role that was written for us, right? I think about games that, like, man, I look at games that were made and I was like, all right, the most popular games that that let's say black people gravitate to that actually has black people in it. Typically sports games, right? Or GTA.
GTA,
Right.
yeah.
Right. So in GTA, the one that was really that resonated. It's sad that this is the game that resonated with San Andreas, right?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, that was dope, but now like I'm waiting for somebody to take that next step because we already got games for obviously there's games that you know gay and transex like the LTB, they got pretty much games and shit like as well, and games that dig deep into their that could relate to like someone, right? So I'm not sure. Like I would want to see a game, right, that is like, for example, right. I got a couple ideas, right? I don't know. Maybe they exist. Maybe it's an indie. You play is a dude who's relative got like something incident happened with like the cops or some shit like that, right? And now you're on like this revenge tour, right? Like and you're trying to get, your goal is obviously there's like justice and all that stuff. If people are on the streets and everything with the picket signs and all this other stuff, but you are on some like American skin shit. Like type. I want to see like something that dives in. Like, you know, we get movies, right? But I want to see a video game that dives in. Who's going to take that chance and like dive in and make us play as a pretty much a black character who's a hero in that way? Or it don't even have to be. And I'm gonna let you come right in because my bad. It don't even have to be like super relative. Or who's going to take a black character, right, and make give him like a black fucking Dante, right? Yeah. Give me a sword and a pistol, and let me in my fantasy world as a game created for like black dude, black like upbringing and shit like that, right? And just in the video game as a lead role, get a good black voice actor to play this dude, and it be like a black lead. Anything. It could be like super like relevant to what's going on, or it could be complete fantasy. I just feel like I haven't seen a developer or publisher take that chance with like a black lead in a video game. You get those GTAs, I feel like you get it, but it don't count because it's more so stereotypical shit, right? When I see a GTA, I like the game, but it's more stereotypical shit. Sports, black people dominate basketball and fucking football. So those, I mean, that's a sim. Like, I'm talking about the other shit that everybody else gets. Your thoughts?
This is a good topic. I like this topic. Yeah. Let me give you the answer.
Okay.
There is not enough black representation at these studios. So because of that, they don't know how to make a game for our culture, because they can't relate to us, and that needs to change. I guess that starts with us because we need to get in school and get these degrees and these computer engineers and stuff like that, so we can branch out to these studios. But that does not put these studios off the hook because they can do their research. And that is a fault on them because they aren't doing their research on our culture. Another thing is that still to this day, they don't think black people can sell, period. But even though we've proven time and time over and over again that we can sell, like movies, Black Panther, we can put seats and we can put asses in seats, and we can sell. Denzel Washington, he can sell. Will Smith, we can bring in money, profit.
Yep.
But they don't see that. They think we can't sell. And how can I put this? Because I don't want to be. It's like I don't want to sound negative. I don't want to sound negative, but this whole movement with the LGBT, like the LGBTQ movement, is the thing right now. Like, they can get you canceled in a heartbeat, right? So now these media outlets and these devs have to, so now they have to do their research on LGBTQ because and then they have to do it right, or else they're getting the fuck up out of here. And so that's what they have to do with us. They have to research our history, and because and GTA San Andreas is my favorite game of all time, but I hate the stereotypical black character in video games. I hate it because that's not us. That's not us. But that's how we are portrayed over the news and through the media. It's just a lack of representation in these studios. There are not enough black people at these studios to guide them to understand our culture. Now, at Insomniac did a good job because they have that one cat, and I cannot remember his name, but he's on Twitter all the time. Mm-hmm. They have that one black cat. I'm sorry that I don't know his name, but he was on it with Insomniac. I think he did a interview with like they pushed him to the forefront for the marketing of Miles Morales. Mm-hmm. And so he was on it, and that's what these other devs need. They just don't have enough. They don't have us in their studios, but that does not. They need to do their research and understand us and understand how to make us into a video game. But even then, you can get anybody to play an action hero. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it doesn't have to have the typical black backstory. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's disheartening. I hate it. I'm all about my people, man. I'm all about my people, and I love it when I see my people thrive. And matter of fact, I tweeted Jeff Keighley, and it didn't do nothing. But I was like, "Yo, Jeff, are we going to see a black female at the Game Awards this year? Maybe as your co-host?" You know, it didn't do shit, but I was just getting that out there because, especially black women, they are at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to entertainment, and it's a shame.
Shout out to Sarah Bond though. I'm glad she's
who's that?
Sarah Bond. She's I think head of platforms at Xbox. She's the black chick with she's the recent out. You had the last Xbox event was in July. She was on that one, or was she a part of the May event? Mm-hmm. But I think her name is Sarah Bond. She's but she's like not. She's up there. She's over at Xbox. She does. I think she's the head of Game Pass. I think her job is more so Xbox publishing, Game Pass, and platforms. That's what she does. But Sarah Bond, just look her up. But like in terms of video games outside of GTA San Andreas, I do give Mafia 3 like some kudos. I thought that was a good job. Even though I don't think Lincoln Clay, the real dude, is actually like he might be. I don't know what he is, but I think he might be Dominican. He has a Dominican look. I don't know, but I get what they were trying to do. But I enjoyed the heck out of that game, even though with its flaws, I enjoyed the hell out of that game. But
pretty good.
But yeah, man, I do agree with you there in terms of lack of representation and not having, and then us not being there at studios, working for any studios to actually, and then not only not being in the studios, not one thing to having like a lead role or being a lead writer or lead engineer or lead producer. We're not in the house. We're not in the building. So we're limited. Our exposure is limited to what they can get. And like I said, the research can be done. Like I said, I think of Dot Nod games and the stuff that they were doing. When you look at the Life is Strange games, when you look at Tell Me Why, hell, Life is Strange 2 was more so it was about minorities, but it was about like Mexicans, like the Mexican struggle. That's what it was about. And I was like, okay. I'm like, damn. I was like, I get it, but we could have easily gotten a game like this. You have a lot of material to go from. Like even like the stuff that would happen in that game that would pretty much was more ideal for what typically black people deal with. They made it happen to the Mexicans in the game. I'm like, wait, bruh. I'm like, you okay? Yeah. So I felt a certain type of way. I think that's why it's like my least favorite, I guess, of the Dot Nod series. I was like, I just felt like they kind of like, I don't know. I felt like they had an opportunity to do something with it, and I just couldn't relate to the game. It's like I related to things that happened, but I couldn't truly relate because I felt like they were trying to do all things in one, but only dedicated to this group. And then obviously Life is Strange was dealt with more so of other situations, and Tell Me Why was the newfound thing dealing with the new additions. to situation. So I just didn't freaking understand it. I'm gonna try Dot Nod's I think it's called Twin Mirror. I'm gonna try that game, see how different that is, and
there is a game on PlayStation coming out that stars a black chick. I cannot forget.
I know Xbox has the Gunk, which is cool.
Yeah, the Gunk, for Xbox. But I could. It's coming out for PlayStation, and like the trailer, she was like riding a bike or something. It had like this painting art style. Man, I can't remember what it's called, but that does star a black woman. But let me bring this to your attention though. This is kind of off the topics of gaming.
You're a little frozen, but yeah. So I don't know if that's Discord trying to tell me to. But I do want to hear. But you're frozen. So.
Oh, hold up. Let me see.
Your image at least.
I'm moving on my end. I don't.
All right, let me see. Let's see if I click.
See, hold on. Let me refresh this.
Great. There we go.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Oh, I don't know why that is. Let me see. Hold on. Let me pull out my. Hold up. Let me pull out my camera real quick. Let me see if that's it.
It said State of Decay 3 teaser also had a black character. I don't know if that's going to remain. That's definitely a trick. It's a teaser. I don't know if that's going to remain. Because I don't know how far along that game is. It would be nice if it is, but State of Decay, when you look at how State of Decay is made, it's not made as like, oh, this is a main character. Like you play as a main character. You're pretty much playing as an NPC that you keep swapping in between whoever you got the best gear with. So if they narrow State of Decay down, like, you're gonna be playing as this girl and her family, and you guys are gonna go recruiting or something like that, or you start off this girl Dolo and she starts recruiting and that's your main character, then yeah, that would be cool. But I don't foresee State of Decay doing that. The last State of Decay 2, you played as Rukari. Like I don't know how serious to take it. You're muted, bro. Your mic is either off or I don't hear you. I see your mouth moving, but your visuals is fine. Visuals fine, no audio. So I'm gonna try to entertain until we get you back. Play some this instrumental. We're about to get out of here too. I don't want to hold you guys too long. But I want to make sure Dre.
Can you hear me?
There you go. We back. All right. Say what you got to say. Say what you were saying. My bad, bro.
Yeah, no, that's my fault. I don't know what the hell's going on. But you ever notice in Disney movies how we are there's 2 Disney movies that have black lead characters, right? There's Princess and the Frog and Soul.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that we're the only representation that gets turned into something and not being able to finish out the whole movie as ourselves?
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, yeah. Me and my wife talk about that all the time. It's like all these Disney shows. It's like we don't even want to bother watching a damn Princess and the Frog because it's like it's been the whole movie is a damn frog. Like I got you. Like even the recent the recent Will Smith movie. I think DreamWorks did this movie. He turns into a bird or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Spies in Disguise.
Spies in Disguise. Yeah, yeah.
So it's just the lack of representation in these studios, man. And really, the only way to fix it is that we have to get into these schools and start. You know, I mean, I know it sucks because schooling is a lot. I'm in school now, and it's a lot. And but that's the only way that we're going to be able to make our presence known in the game. But you know, that's kind of that's putting devs off the hook a lot though, because they can do their research. There's no
I mean the resource is there. The resource is there. You know, you get this crazy ass budget to make the craziest games. So some of these budgets on video game budgets exceed movies, right? and you're like they can hire the best of the best of black actors and cast and put their voices on black video game models and not like because they'll cast a black dude for a white or a white dude for a black dude in the game. It's just the weirdest shit. But like they have the resources to do it. They got the money. They can go out and hire talent if they wanted to, whether they want to go Hollywood or find somebody local. Their stories they can adapt from. Like people get inspired by books all the time. So it's a possibility because we've seen what they did with other cultures in video games. Hell, Sucker Punch. Isn't that an American studio? American developer.
Yeah, aren't they out of Seattle? I think.
Yeah, and look what they did to get Ghost of Tsushima. You would have thought that was a fucking Japanese made game.
Yep, they hired Japanese cat to do the voiceovers and everything.
So no excuses.
No, I feel you 100%.
Yeah, it's crazy. 100%. But yeah, we
also. But one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it has to start at the three main companies: Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony. And I see Microsoft doing a better job than the other two at black representation, but they could definitely do a lot more. But if those three portray us out into the gaming media or whatever, then that will kind of like trickle down into the third parties and stuff like that. Like if Sony made a game and gave us a big push in black representation, and Nintendo made a game and gave us a big push, and Microsoft made a game, or Xbox made a game and gave us a big push, then I think that will kind of be a plague and trickle down to the third parties and stuff like that.
No, I got you. I feel like Xbox has been making an attempt. They put Kate Diaz to the forefront. She's a woman. That's the cool one. This is just semantics, and she's Hispanic. Kudos too. So all right, we got the minority forefront lead, and it look like they're gonna ride with her. I mean, the black guy, and Hive Busters. You get Colonel, the black dude. He's the lead for that. But I'm not see how serious you're gonna take it. I like obviously Coltrane. We've been there around, but he's a side character, not like the main. You know him, but he's a side character. But yeah, you're right. The kudos to Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yes,
I think that's one of the reasons why I respected and enjoyed that game so much. But they, they took their chance. And they didn't sell you short with the game. It was their first RPG like Assassin's Creed with that one too. We kind of set the trend for the rest of them.
Also, they did Liberation. Remember, it was set in New Orleans.
Yeah. Yes.
Or Louisiana, one of them.
Yeah.
Well, it was, but the black chick.
Yeah. Yeah. So kudos to them. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we do need I feel like more because, like I said, we can name them. But it's not near enough of what should be there given the amount of games that come out on annual basis and the budget of these games. And you see where we are in music, you see where we are in film, and video games. Video games is bigger than both, in my opinion, in terms of revenue that it generates and the growth. And the even more of the growth potential. We definitely deserve a spot to to headline some of these games, and they never know what they can do. So,
absolutely,
yeah. So we appreciate you guys coming through episode 4. Let's Talk Games podcast.
Thank you, chat.
Yeah, thank you guys for showing up. Let us know what you want to hear about from us in future episodes, because there's gonna be times where we ain't got shit to talk about. But I don't want that to be an excuse why we don't go live.
Remember, this podcast was supposed to be of what we are actually playing.
Yeah.
But it just happens that ain't shit to play right now.
Yeah.
So
we'll be talking about. Otherwise, we'll be talking about a bunch of backwards compatible games. But yeah, man, same time. I apologize for the delay. We ran a little bit late today, a lot late. We typically go live at 7 p.m. So next week, we'll be back on time. And hope to see you guys all next week. Dre, you got anything you working on? Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Oh no, man, I ain't got nothing working on. Appreciate the. I can't talk today, man. Appreciate everybody who came out and showed support. I'm just on Twitter _Notorious DRE. And I appreciate you guys for coming out, hanging out with us.
Yeah, appreciate it. As always, guys, we'll see you guys next week. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. We're out of here. Peace.
See you guys later.